Hello and welcome to quiz class. Today we have 100 questions on Proverbs. Question number 1. A closed mouth catches no what? Lies, feelings, or flies? Flies. If you are penny wise, then you are pound foolish, pound thrifty, or pound happy. Pound foolish, being overly frugal. In what situation is any port in a needed? Wind, hole, or storm? Storm, which means when someone is in trouble, they cannot wait for the perfect solution. Attack is the best form of what? Defense, offense, or attack? Defense, which means attacking the opposition first is better than waiting for them to attack. What are you giving? Where credit's due? Money, credit, or thanks? Credit, which means used to justly praise someone for their achievement or contribution. According to the proverb, you should let what be what? Life, bygones, or pain? Bygones, which means to disregard or ignore a past difficulty in a relationship or an offense. What may turn to a fair day? A foul morn, a dark morn, or a sad morn? A foul morn, which means a gloomy morning can turn into a clear day. A loveless life is a living what? Shame, death, or shell? Death. A life without love and meaningful connections is empty and unfulfilling. A great dowry is a bed full of what? Brambles, thorns, or thistles? Brambles. Focusing solely on material wealth in a marriage can lead to difficulties. Many a true what is spoken in jest, joke, remark, or word. Word. When people are joking, they sometimes say things that are true and important. What fruit is referred to in the proverb to buy a melon, lemon, or orange? Lemon, which means to buy something worth far less than you paid. The darkest hour has only what? 60 minutes, brightest light, or moments until dawn? 60 minutes, which means even in difficult time, there is hope and limited duration of darkness. A fault, what, is half redressed, discovered, recognized, or confessed. Confessed. By confessing what you have done wrong, you have begun to make amends. A good conscience is a soft what? Pillow, landing, or animal. Pillow, which means with a clear conscience, you can rest easily and comfortably. A good who makes a good Jill? Jack, Joe, or Jude? Jack. A person's positive qualities and behavior can have a positive influence on their partner. It is better to be born what than rich, loved, lucky, or loaded. Lucky, which means if you are born lucky, you will always get what you need or want just by chance. What abhors a vacuum? Nature, silence, or money? Nature. A vacuum goes against the laws of nature, physics, and that every space needs to be filled. Once bitten, twice what? Robbed, shy, or afraid? Shy. One is cautious if one has been hurt in the past. A cat in what catches no mice? Indoors, gloves, arrears. Gloves. Sometimes you need to take risks in order to achieve success. Strike while the what is hot. Idea, iron, or inferno. Iron, which means make use of an opportunity immediately. A good name keeps its luster in the what? Crowd, story, or dark. In the dark, which means a good reputation remains and through difficult times as well. All what open to courtesy? Minds, jobs, or doors? Doors. People will go out of their way to help anyone who is polite. One what does not a summer make? Swallow, swan, or sparrow? A swallow. One day or brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. What makes the heart grow fonder? Kindness, friendship, or absence? Absence. Being apart helps people appreciate their partner more and makes the relationship stronger. All what come to an end? Good times, good things, or good topics? Good things, which means nothing lasts forever and everything gets completed with a conclusion. A rolling stone gathers no what? Moss, leaves, or some. Moss, which means people who are always moving with no roots in one place or another, avoid responsibilities and cares. You can't live on bread, what? Alone, forever, or today? Alone, which means people need more than material things to truly live. Always in a hurry, always what? Ready, behind, or awake? Always behind. Trying to do things too quickly, you work less efficiently and ultimately take longer. To carry coals to where? Newcastle, Glasgow, or Swansea? Newcastle, which means to do something pointless and superfluous. Don't what a gift horse in the mouth. Look, save, or rush. Look, which means don't be ungrateful if someone gives you a gift. A city that parlays is half what? Forgotten, forgiven, or gotten. Gotten, which means when two parties are willing to negotiate and reach an agreement, they are already halfway to success. You are what by one's own petard? Saved, regarded, or hoisted? Hoisted, which means to fall foul of your own deceit or fall into your own trap. An idle man is the devil's what? Kitchen hand, quartermaster, or playfellow? Playfellow, which means someone with nothing productive to do, they will spend their time and energy doing bad things. Talking comes by nature. What? By wisdom. Understanding, silence, or action. Silence, which means when we allow ourselves to be quiet, that's when we can hear our inner voice, our intuition. What is taken by the thorns and a man by the tongue? An ox, a stag, or a bull? An ox. You can control an ox by grabbing his horns. You can control a man by what you say to him. What with flying colors? Sing, pass, or soar? To pass, when ships would return home with their flags flying to show they have been victorious. The moon is made of what? Green cheese, yellow cheese, or white cheese? Green cheese, which means an example of extreme credulity. Until the what come home? Cows, friends, or workers? Cows, which means for a long, indefinite amount of time. All what to me? German, Greek, or gobbledygook? Gobbledygook, gobbledygook. Greek, which means something is meaningless or incomprehensible. Once the what has gone up, temperature, price, or balloon? Balloon, which means the moment when hostilities with an adversary are imminent. Never cast a clout till what be out? April, May, or June? May, which means do not disregard your winter clothes until summer has fully arrived. What killed the cat? Innuendo, curiosity, or laziness? Curiosity, which means the danger of questioning what is thought to be established facts. Tell tales out of what? Earshot, loneliness, or school? School, which means to reveal confidential or sensitive information. Woe to the what? Destructive, vanquished, or tempestuous? Vanquished, which means those defeated are entirely at the mercy of their conquerors and should not accept leniency. Fill in the phrase. What days, what ways? Forgotten, other, or other forgotten? Other, which means people of the past thought and acted differently. Old what never die? Soldiers, captains, or pirates? Soldiers. If a soldier wasn't killed, they got old and ceased being the young, vigorous man they were. What broke the camel's back? The straw that, the hat that, or the brand that? The straw that, which means the last one in a line of unacceptable occurrences, causes a seemingly sudden, strong reaction. One man's mate is another man's what? Opportunity, victory, or poison? Poison, which means what is good for one person may be bad for another. None is so deaf as who will not what? Heed, hear, or herald? Hear, which means understanding cannot be forced on someone who chooses to be ignorant. another form of opportunity seldom knocks twice. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. Sharks never bite in the same pool again. Or once bitten, twice shy. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place, which means a very unusual event is not likely to happen again. Question 51. When in, where, do as the who do? Rome, Romans. Athens, Athenians. Britain, Brits. Rome, Romans. It is best to follow the traditions or customs of a place being visited. To batten down the what? Hatches, windows, or gates? Hatches, which means to prepare for pending trouble. What is a Mickey Finn? Someone who drugs and robs someone, someone who charms and leaves someone, or someone who helps then hinders someone? Someone who drugs and robs someone, named after a 19th century criminal, Mickey Finn. To freeze the balls off a brass, what? Monkey, convict, or statue? Monkey. It just means that it is very cold. What is a good servant but a bad master? Thorns, fire, or applause? Fire. Fire must be used wisely. Cut your coat according to your what? Capacity, job, or cloth? Cloth, which means you can only make a product as good as the material you are making it from. A doubting who? Theodore, Thomas, or Edward? Thomas, which means a skeptic who needs physical or personal evidence in order to believe something. Great minds think what? Alike, akin, or similar? Alike, which means thoughtful people tend to come up with similar answers. What is the spice of life? Adventure, humor, or variety? Variety, which means a wide range of activities provides a full, enjoyable life. Question 60. What rush in where angels fear to tread? Fools, demons, or heroes? Fools, which means a hasty, foolish, or bad action can land you in a modern-day hell, and further consideration has merits. If you what my back, I'll what yours. Scratch, watch, or tend? Scratch, which means to do someone a good deed if they do one for you. To what your head? Forget, mind, or lose? To lose, which means to act irrationally due to emotion, excuse me. To bell the what? Cat, cinder, or glass? Cat, which means to perform a dangerous or a risky task. You pay your what and you take your what? Money, choice, entry, time, tariff, chance. Money, choice, which means you are responsible for your decisions and cannot blame anyone else for outcomes of your choices. Who will clutch at a straw? A lost dog, a drowning man, or a forgotten lamb? A drowning man, which means a person in desperate need of help will grab hold of some help even if it's insignificant. Who would be on the wallaby? Someone on holiday, someone unemployed, or someone irresponsible? Someone unemployed. This is from Australia, a swag man of olden days moving from town to town looking for work. Since before, Kaki was an employee, egg, or explorer. An egg, which means for a very long time. What is all correct? Okay, of course, or absolutely correct? Okay, a deliberate misspelling for all correct. To plumb the what? Moment, leak, or depths? Depths, which means to let someone or yourself down severely. It also means to explore intensely. As the twig is bent, so is the tree. What? Leaning, stood, or inclined? Inclined, which means that early influences have a permanent effect. To err is human, to forgive what? Sublime, kind, or divine? Divine, which means all people commit sins and make mistakes. What marches on its stomach? An ant, an adventurer, or an army? An army, which means you must eat properly if you want to perform tasks well. Whose wife must be above suspicion? Joseph's, Caesar's, or Satan's? Caesar's, which means those in positions of authority should avoid even the implication of impropriety. What will move mountains? Duty, faith, or industry? Faith, which means believe in oneself or God, can help one overcome the hurdle in life's path. Half a what is better than none? Brain, loaf, or map? Loaf, which means something is better than nothing. Fortune does what for the bold? Inspires, favors, or damages? Favors, which means one should act boldly and bravely to accomplish greatness. Kill the what to scare the what? Chicken, monkey, pig, bear, rabbit, dog. Chicken, monkey, which means making an example out of someone in order to threaten others. Question 78. The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the what? Heart, world, or people? World, which means motherhood is the preeminent force for change in the world. What for the mill? Fuel, dedication, or grist? Grist. It is useful for a particular purpose or helps support someone's point of view. To what crocodile tears? Mock, weep, or fine? Weep, which means an insincere show of sorrow. What is in cheek? Humor, tongue, or loyalty? Tongue, which means not to be taken seriously. Only fools and what work? Horses, oxen, or mules? Horses, which means people who do not look for an easy way of working and earning money, are foolish. To throw down the what? Gauntlet, flag, or crest? Gauntlet, which means to challenge by throwing down the metal glove that formed part of a knight's suit of armor. An empty what cannot stand upright? Soul, house, or bag? Bag, which means a person is without worth or value if they cannot stand up for themselves or what they believe. Nothing falls into the mouth of a sleeping what? Lion, fox, or hippopotamus? Fox, which means to be still and patient, waiting for the right opportunities to come along. What vessels make the most noise? Solid, empty, or shallow? Empty, which means people who talk a lot are not always correct. A pig in a what? Sty, poke, or barrel? Poke, which means when purchasing a pig and not looking in the poke, it was to buy an unknown thing at the time. A month of what? Mondays, Sundays, or Fridays? Sundays, which means a long period of time. What travels so slowly that poverty soon overtakes him? Laziness, kindness, or arrogance? Laziness, which means if a person is lazy and does not work, they will not accumulate wealth. Son of a what? Minister, gun, or dreamer? Gun, which means a scamp. What is a dialect with an army and navy? Community, language, or religion? Language, which means the influence that social and political conditions can have over communities' perception of language. Life is not all beer and what? Songs, sweethearts, or Skittles? Skittles, which means not everything about life is pleasurable. What oaks from little acorns grow? Mighty, wise, or ancient? Mighty, which means something great can come from a modest beginning. Appetite comes with what? Eating, longing, or faltering? Eating, which means starting an activity increases one's desire to continue it. What is as a newborn babe? Rosy, innocent, or beloved? Innocent. Innocent as a newborn babe as a clean slate. A man of straw needs a woman of what? Gold, diamond, or majesty? Gold, which means men need the strength of a woman behind them. No such thing as free what? Lunch, ticket, or car? Lunch, which means nothing desired or valuable is yours without paying for it in some way. What is the soul of wit? Brevity, honesty, or sincerity? Brevity, which means intelligent speech and writing should aim at using few words. Better to what in hell than what in heaven? Starve, sleep, Burn, surrender, reign, and serve. Reign and serve. Better to be in a bad place and rule than go to a good place and work as a servant there. Many a mickle makes a what? Freckle, muckle, or nickel. Muckle, which means small amounts of money accumulate into bigger amounts. And our bonus question, a piece of what fruit a day keeps the doctor away? Let us know the answer in the comments and how well you did. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.